So like, I wasn't even going to ask this question, but now I feel like.
Don't ask
like,
if I've tooted in public.
No, not at all.
I was just saying, a group that toots together stays together. I thought that was
exactly.
Gonna be a new slogan. Like, please don't ask me that question.
That's actually going to be our new youth group shirt. It's going to be great. Hey everybody, we are going to be doing something a little bit different today. I grabbed our awesome connections person Leslie because rather than just redo the sermon and just re-talk about what we talked about on Sunday night, I wanted to throw out to you, which you have no idea what we talked about.
Totally spontaneous.
Totally spontaneous. It's wonderful. What we talked about, and I want to just kind of ask you your opinions on things. And This does not have to be a long video at all. But it is so up your alley. When I saw you here today, I was like, okay, I need to grab her.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So last night, I'll kind of give you the general overview. Okay.
Food Olympics. You had food.
We had food. We did do
I'm
the
always
food.
jealous when I make that announcement. I'm like, I want to be in the youth group.
It's true. My two favorite words in the English language side by side is free food.
Free food. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best. But we did do Food Olympics. That's 100% true. But the main thing is that if you're going to be a difference maker, so like we're doing this series called Difference Makers, you have to be plugged into a community.
Oh, absolutely.
And you have to be a part of a church. So the main, one thing, and I wanted to make sure that we communicate this well, is the church, capital C, is kind of a hodgepodge, hot mess of humanity that is equal parts like mystery, equal parts good, and equal parts frustrating. But it's so wonderful, and there is no other place that people should find a belonging, know that they're loved, and just be a part of than the church. So we talked about not only how we're called to be a part of the community, but how we have spiritual gifts to help us and better and make a difference in that community.
Sure.
What I want to ask you is, why do you think it's so important that people just plug into a church community or be a part of a church community?
Well, first of all, I feel like it becomes your family, because a lot of us are you have your jobs, or you have your neighborhood or a school, because I guess youth we're targeting today.
Yeah.
I think it's the glue that holds things together. And it's I know we kind of joke about this, I'm kind of older than you are, just by a couple years.
Just a couple of years.
5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
10-ish. My youth group was my family. It was just everything we did was so much fun. And those friendships have lasted, even into my early 30s, because I'm almost 40.
Well, and one of the things that we talked about was there's so many times where uncomfortable or awkward moments that happen in church.
Oh, yeah.
And I shared one where we were on a retreat, and the speaker had done, the worship was finished, and my youth pastor, and it was a small intimate setting, and he was praying us out, and one of the high school girls farted really loud, and it totally killed the moment. But
hard to get it back too.
Very hard to get it back.
It's awkward.
But how many people would run away from the church after that kind of experience? And yet here we are, we laughed about it, and it was a fun thing for all of us to experience. So I wasn't even going to ask this question, but now I feel like.
Don't ask if I've tooted in public.
No, not at all.
I was just saying, a group that toots together stays together. I thought that was
exactly.
Gonna be a new slogan. Please don't ask me that question.
That's actually going to be our new youth group shirt. It's going to be great. What is maybe an awkward or silly experience that you've had in church, and how and how did it bring the group closer together?
Absolutely. So the one that stands out was I was in a junior high handbell choir, because we tried everything once, and we were so bad. We were in this big church doing the offertory, which that's old school. You play music things. We start the song, and it's not even recognizable because we all got so nervous. And the poor director's it just keeps trying, and we all start getting the giggles, where we're going with this one. We all are the laughing bell ringers. It's so bad. They have us stop We start over, we try the song again. This is in the middle of like a huge church service. It's terrible. They stop it again. We try a third time, and finally the director just went like this, just be seated. So we had to sit up there. Okay, you have all these youth group bell ringers that have just epically failed. It's like in front of everybody. There was no YouTube, thank goodness. That, I mean, to this day, we'll be like, hey, remember that offertory?
Oh yeah,
bell ringing, and it just brings you all back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like, and I said this last night, and I believe this to be true, is there's no better place like outside of maybe a family circle where you can just experience something so silly and so awkward and just let it, you know, be a part of the thing. And that's the beautiful thing about church community. Absolutely. It is, you know, we're living life together. And I think just like so many families are dysfunctional, I think a church family is just as dysfunctional. You have people from different backgrounds. You have people with different you know, opinions and views on things. And but we all agree, or we all hopefully agree on one thing, Jesus is pretty cool. So we show up to worship and you know, hear a little bit of scripture and things like that. So let me just throw this out there, and then we can finish it up. Is what would you say are 3 just solid reasons why people, you know, need to be a part of a church community? What are 3 things that you see as benefits?
So some benefits, I think one is just that connection, which we use that word a lot, but I mean really feeling like there's somebody that on a bad day you can go to, because the world, you know, cheers for you most of the time, but then there's hard days, and I think that is that common experience. I think it makes you feel connected, feels like a family. You know, we're big about laughter and having fun experiences, because I always look forward to seeing you, Zach, what's happened this week, you know?
Oh yeah.
I think that's just little do you know how much you need some really good godly friends that'll just you can laugh, you can have fun together, you can be a little mischievous together, but at the end of the day they have your back and they'll be there for you. And I think that's a deeper connection you get at church.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's a lot of fun. It makes for some great stories. So.
Oh, for sure. And you know, one thing that my wife and I say all the time is we don't know where we would be without our church family. Not only in the hard times, but even in the good seasons. It's always good to know that people are praying for you and they're supporting you and they're doing all that stuff for you. But then on the other side of, you know, when we were moving, it was literally family and church members.
Oh yeah.
You know, those were the people who showed up. You know, the get-togethers that happen outside of Sunday that are just and it's just those friendships and those kind of stuff. I mean, when we were having our first child, we got our changing table and you know, our shower was almost predominantly church, our church family, and just, you know, people just want to bless us, and I think that's true. So last question, and then we'll be done. Since this was pretty spontaneous, but I think still pretty cool. If there's somebody out there who is watching this on, you know, YouTube, social media, blah blah blah, whatever, and they are discouraged by the church, they've been hurt by the church, they've, you know, for whatever reason, they don't want to be a part of a church community. What would you say to them?
I think we've all been there at one time or another.
Yeah.
I think, you know, there's just different. I think sometimes people don't mean to offend or hurt or say the wrong thing or hurt somebody's feelings, but sometimes it happens and sometimes we're not aware of it. But I think churches, we're flawed people, but this is the best place to be. I would just encourage people to take that chance and try again, because there's just sometimes it's a better fit for you at a different stage in your life. And I think it's also I am looking back and saying, I can remember there's times when maybe I've been hurt by someone or a conversation, and now I'm kind of going, but it's a lot farther down the road. I'm like, wow, now I understand why that happened, or that person wasn't trying to really hurt me personally, but it was just a time or a season. And, you know, so I think that's that's neat, where God can kind of bring you full circle to see ooh, they didn't mean to do that, you know? So I just think that's, it's worth just, I don't want to say take a chance, because it's not a chance. It's it's a great decision.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the best one you'll ever make, is being part of a church. So.
Absolutely.
And free food and
free
food. Help and encouragement.
Oh, absolutely.
Can I also say a little, this is a spontaneous thing. Our youth group, we all love seeing the kids every week.
Oh, absolutely.
And hey, how's it going? And they're outgoing and they're friendly. And I think that just kind of rejuvenates all of us too. And we have a lot of faith in our next generation.
It's true. I said it, and I said it last week in the actual video. I also said it last night in our youth group. is we believe like that we don't see teenagers as troublemakers. We see them as opportunities.
Opportunity, and they are fun.
They are so much fun.
They keep us cool and young and fun at heart. So
Yeah, we have some of the most talented group of individuals. We have truly outstanding group of individuals, and it's just so cool to see what they're doing. And so, you know, when we're talking about this idea of being a difference maker, last week we talked about, you know, stepping outside of your comfort zone, and this week we talked about the importance of being a part of a community. And we believe that this community is a place where you can really make a huge difference, and we hope that for you. So thank you, Leslie, for doing this you know, spontaneous thing.
Absolutely.
But
I like spontaneous.
I
enjoy.
Say, we're just going to censor it. That's what it's going to be.
I feel it coming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So make sure that if you see her on Sunday, say hello. And we will see you guys next week here around the River Youth, YouTube and Facebook and everything like that.